Happy Independence Day. Good to see you. Tonight's Center of Light declaration. Time to declare it, y'all. I am free. I cost nothing. I am free. However, more freedom and liberation lie afoot. In Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, my new bestseller release. The links are in the forum. Jump seat to Amazon, purchase this bestseller. You can also use the same link to go to Amazon and leave me a review. Welcome to Center of Light Declaration. Independence Day. What is independence? Learning that myself every day. Got a taste of it. Tastes pretty darn good. I want another bite. Hello, KK. Hello, everyone. So what is independence? We can easily lean into, well, that would depend for each person. No, I disagree. We have different ideas of what independence is. But independence is a truth that moves through everything as a thread of commonality, reality, the highest truth, order, divine law. You can bet the universe is not codependent on anything. Well, Keith, doesn't all the different parts of the universe? Well, of course, but it's whole in and of itself. And that fragment of truth, that common thread, wins its way through everything, all at the same time. Because everything is everything all at the same time. Hello, Abigail. So we're going to go through different modalities of Independence Night. Some from a spiritual teacher, spiritual teachers. Katie says, independence or sovereign. Let me lay it out for you. Do what you want, when you want to do it, who with, and for however long you choose to do it, and not answer to anyone. That's liberation. And every being in the universe is seeking liberation. Some are under the depression of tyranny, tyrannical government. Some are not. Some are just not really well versed, if you will, to have the knowledge to fulfill self-liberation. Liberation is what every being in the universe seeks. Do you feel free? To some degree, fantastic. Many people think because they live in America, they are free. You are not. You may be internally, but as far as the system and what freedom is for the collective and a perfect, beautiful world and everyone sharing the world and sharing alike, well, at least America has the greatest form of government and we are most free in America than most people. That's still living in the illusion. You're trying to cater to, you're trying to soften the blow, if you will. Yeah, Abigail says, those under the thumb bought into the necessity. So what does true liberation look like? Doesn't look like fireworks on July 4th. Though, when you finally become liberated within, depending on whatever day it is, there will be fireworks. So tonight is Center of Light declaration. Are you declaring your peace? Are you declaring your sovereignty? Are you declaring your freedom? It's innate. It's your divine birthright. Independence Day. We're also going to talk a little bit, or however much it needs to, about Swamiji Viswayogi, God on Earth Today. Some of the things he has told me, also told me through Anjana, my sister friend, who is an associate caregiver to Swamiji. Basically, she is Swamiji's helper. We the people. Who are we? We are all of many different colors and diversity. We the people, not the sheeple. We, the people. Just because you live in said country that has more freedom than others does not make you free. Let's say hi to everyone. KK, Abigail, let's look at YouTube. I see Rena, I see Soma Fusion, Mind, Body, and Soul. I have not yet been sold on the idea of freedom, or at least the one that's been pitched to us, tossed out to us, thrown to us like a bone or scrap to gnaw on. And we chew on it. And we want more of it. So are you more free now? Ironic question. Do you feel more liberation now since before a year plus ago when the big C kicked in and you're stuck in your house? Ironically, do you feel more free? I would say to you, dear one, if you feel more liberated now than before the big C hit over a year ago, you have and are doing the work, because us being locked into our homes is actually grace. Many of us, including myself, at first didn't see it that way. But on this side of it, it has totally given me the provisions, the vision, everything I need to liberate myself by said contrast. And fast I'm moving into it. I do what I want all day long. I don't really do things with any who's because I enjoy me. As Swamiji Visvayogi, God on Earth Today, says, I'm going to save that for a little bit. Yeah, Katie, it is what it's truly meant to be human. Hu, God. Ekankar religion. The word for God is Hu. And man of the earth, human, hence heaven on earth. Jesus said, I am the truth, the hope, the light, and the way. Many other spiritual teachers say the way in is the way out. Again, Abigail says independence does not mean we have no rules at all. Right? The golden chain is as much a chain as an iron one. KK throwing it out there like a big girl. So tonight we're speaking about Declaration of Independence. But you have to declare your independence, or it's still just a piece of words written on a piece of old papyrus paper, old paper. So it's not just this claim, this clause, this thing you don on the wall. It's a lifestyle. It's not per se a lifestyle. It may start off as a lifestyle for a life while, but once this becomes integrated in you, you become liberated within yourself. Do you feel more freedom now than before a year plus ago when the big C locked us all in? I do, and I'm grateful. Many people out there, as I look out and about in social media, I see people liberating themselves. People who 2 years ago didn't buy into this conspiracy theory stuff. This is not conspiracy theory. People who are called conspiracy theorists, maybe, just maybe, they are not conspiracy theorists as being called. Maybe they have a greater vision capacity to see something. And they're getting really, really good at it. And they're developing their craft in such a way that what others may call conspiracy theory, 2 or 3, 5 years later, it happens. It's not a conspiracy theory. They have vision. They are visionaries that learn how to understand patterns, vibrations, how events transpire, what's the likely outcome, what's going to happen from said event, chronologically events unfold, and then they listen to people, however they do their research, and they realize, I think this is actually true. And in so doing, having such capacity to see, they're the forerunners of, or teachers, if you will, to bring about messages of possible liberation if only everyone would listen, see, look, dive in, do the research, and then the manifestation of said prophecy or conspiracy theorist happens a lot quicker. It becomes hastened. This is what's happening now. And many people in said social media who claim to be awakening are still throwing arrows at people, calling them libtards, in other words, and putting them in boxes. And these people are so-called awakening. And they will claim that, good morning, all my friends, have a wonderful day. And they'll throw a turd out of their mouth. And then they try to polish it. And then they got everybody else on their side getting the Windex and trying to polish the same turd. It's absurd. And the reason they do that is because they don't feel free. A person who is liberated does not throw turd balls at everybody else or word balls at everybody else. You're not free. Why do people do such things? Because they are hurting. And in their hurt, there's no liberation afoot anywhere. Katie says moksha. That means it. It's done. Game over. I am liberated. I am cosmically aligned. Moksha. So tonight is Center of Light declaration. You have to stand up and declare it for yourself. You have to make it yours. Your own. In fact, it's not something you possess. It's something you possess. That you let possess you. You have a taste of what true liberation and freedom is. Independence. But if you are codependent in that area of your life, simply you are not free yet. But I don't want to let go of this thing, because if I let it go, it's going to go away. That's an illusion. If you let it go, it has a chance to actually blossom into what it can be, instead of trying to stifle the flower. Like Osho Rajneesh says, you see a flower and it's beautiful, you love it, and you pick it. As soon as you pick it, it begins to die. It can no longer become its full potential. So if you leave it alone, it's love. It's unconditional love. Then it begins the opportunity to unfold into its fullness. That's freedom. I don't have to possess something. I possess it myself. Therefore, you can leave the flower as it is, simply gorgeous, blooming, and ever beautiful. This reminds me of a story. When I was a little boy, I caught a sparrow and I put it in a cage. And that sparrow would sing every day for the first few days. And something said, Keith, you need to let this sparrow go. What was that something that told me that? It was no longer warbling. It was no longer singing. But some part of me wanted to let it go, and a large part of me did not. Because I wanted to own it. I wanted it to be mine. I wanted to possess it. I wanted to cage it, if you will. And I realized this is not correct. The very thing I claim to love, I have to let it go so it could be itself in its fullest potential. I didn't like the process of doing it, but once I saw the bird fly away, I felt my liberation of caging and pigeonholing myself by using the little bird or the sparrow as my excuse to feel better about me. Likewise, stop calling people names. Because when you call people names, you're doing this. You're calling yourself inadequate as to why you want to blame someone else and bring them into your cesspool of misery. Misery loves company. But there is no but. But there's no but you don't understand either. There's nothing else. Freedom means just that. I am free of any form of arbitrary control. It's over. I don't have to control the flower. I don't have to control the bird. I don't have to control my partner. I don't have to control this. I don't have to control that. It's not necessary. It's not freedom at all. So again, as I mentioned earlier, as we think we are free in America, I'm grateful for the freedoms that we experience through the American dynamic. But I also want to say that thumb that I said is being pressed on you is true. But ultimately, to declare your own independence, there is no thumb. I am not governed, influenced, controlled by the system. I am responsible 100% for my own experience, my own actions, my own reality. Now we're taking a step towards true liberation. That's the station where the train to Ascensionville is taking everyone, provided those who choose to get on board. Woo! Woo! And there's a momentum behind it. What is liberation? Do what you want, who with, however long you choose, and you have to answer to no one. No one. You have to answer to no one anyway. Sometimes, often, we feel like we have to answer to someone. Because if we don't, it causes dismay, it causes trouble, and then I get that. I'm not saying that's what you should or shouldn't do. But is it for the highest development of yourself to buy into your own self-induced slavery? Or you letting yourself become the full-fledged flower? Or are you plucking yourself out of your divine fertile soil? Or are you doing it to yourself by saying, yes, 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 yes. No is okay. Abigail says, one of my main messages is that we need to know ourselves well enough that the thoughts and limits of others don't become ours. That is beautifully said. Do you feel liberated? More now than before the big C that happened a year plus ago. We're coming out of it. Swamiji himself said, it's about to be over. It's pretty much over now, but the loose ends are wrapping up, if you will. They're shutting the doors, they're putting the boxes on the shelves, and they're shutting the doors, kind of idea. Jump up and down. It's part of your liberation. But also, there's another phase coming around that can and likely will knock you off of your center. Why? We can blame those, and it is those as the ones we see as doing it. But ultimately, we're doing it to ourselves because we've all collectively brought this about. And now it's playing itself out, and it's for those, without a doubt, who choose to understand the dynamic we have launched and now are experiencing, as KK says. We're living in a time where we reap what we sow is happening faster and faster. That is absolutely correct. Now, when phase 2 happens, it's going to knock you off. So what you do is, wow, I don't understand this. It's okay. You're not supposed to understand it. If you understood, it would not be happening. So it's naturally, you're not going to understand it. Hello, Pri, Puruwe, Hapakuku. It's good to see you, dear. You're not supposed to understand it. But you're supposed to understand it after you're not supposed to understand it. And once you understand it, after you didn't understand it, you take another step, another leap up the Jacob's freedom independence ladder. And this is how this time we're living in is going to play out. It's going to level the playing field. It did. Everyone was leveled. No one was spared. People have lifted. People are getting pulled down. Some people are going sideways, up and down, up and down. But eventually the up and down, you're either going to spring yourself up or you're going to fall down. But playing fields are supposed to be level, so you can find yourself. I understand who I am. I feel a little more freedom. I'm grateful. A new sucker punch comes. Playing field is level. And you level up, level up, level up, level up. This is the way out. In is the way out. This is your independence I am talking about. You have to declare it. Stand up. I declare my self-sustaining, eternal independence. Stand up. I do it every day. I'm doing it right now. I'm claiming my self-inflicted, eternal, internal independence. It's not just this paper that was written in 1776. And you put it in a nice little frame. It's a reminder, but understand that you are the infrastructure of said truth that came out all those years ago. But you have to integrate it. You have to declare it. One by one, the world becomes liberated. And it exponentiates. And it hastens its arrival. But it's not an arrival as if it's a linear timeline in the future. It will play that way out for humanity. But it's actually here now. And for those who are truly in their spiritual sanity, they can have that later thing happen right here, right now, in this moment. Many of us are feeling it. Liberation is what every being in the universe seeks. For those who are not seeking liberation, they have already found it, like Swamiji, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Mother Mira, Anandamayi Ma, Sai Ma, so forth and so on. And there are others who are not seeking it because that's all they think they can deserve. You hear people say, I ask people all the time, how you doing today? Fair to middling. How you doing today? I have more than I deserve. There is no liberation in, I have more than I deserve. You will never get out of slavery claiming I have more than I deserve. I understand that might be someone being modest or humble, but why are you choosing such words? Which is actually choosing such a mindset, which creates a feeling inside. Feeling is the vibratory punch. Are you eating such vibratory lunch all the time? It's your manna, it's your food. You deserve everything. You deserve beyond, we all deserve beyond what we can imagine anything possible is. And there's another reality beyond that, which is infinite. And we can't grasp infinity. So we have no idea really, which is fantastic. We shouldn't have ideas of what we think we deserve. That pigeonholes us into a self-induced slavery. Because this is all I think, this is all I can imagine. That is my divine birth. No, you're worth more than that. This is truly yours. Hi, Pamela. Robert, shift over to YouTube, brother. I don't know. You are the only one that I know that has this trouble with Facebook. So, blessings to you, my brother. Oh, also, thank you, Robert. I am offering some pendants. They are Mayan calendar. Let me see. I may have the image here. And then we're going to get into some really coolness. I have a cameo appearance. Robert has donated some Mayan calendar pendants. They're really cool. They're about this big. Fantastic. A couple of people have supported Center of Light with donations. I'm taking donations for $30. You can send it to the link in this forum for donate to my cause, your cause. Why? Because. Be the cause. I do my presentations, my love, pro bono. So we have bono, which is Sunny Bono, and now we have share bono. So share this everywhere. For those who are interested in this pendant, they should be arriving tomorrow, I believe. Your donation of $30. Or the best you can. We'll see what that is. I'm open to all ideas because I'm liberated. I'm free. Let me know if you're interested in that. I'll be love to send you one along. Send me your address in my inbox. You know how to find me, Keith Anthony Blanchard at Gmail. Melinda was one who purchased one of those pendants. Thank you, Melinda. Happy Independence, y'all. We're going to get to this presentation here shortly. I'm going to play a song. I'm going to be right back. I have a cameo appearance. It's going to be about a 20-minute video of a dear friend of mine. So let me, I'm going to type his name in here. One moment. I got some technological. There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Center of Light. All right, we're gonna go to commercial break. I need to get some water. Are you free? Do you feel free? Keith Anthony Blanchard are going to be right back. How about some
Trust that I will guide you in whatever you do. Just remember to breathe and do your very best to live in love, give in love, be in love, and love you shall receive.
What I want to be and see, what I want to see and want, knowing God is by my side. There is nothing I need to know. Breathe and expand myself to know there is no one else but me and God who's in my heart.
Yeah, welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight is Center of Light Declaration. Independence Day. Do you feel more free now than you did a year plus ago when we got locked in? That's the lesson, or at least one of them, of being locked in, for all of us to find ourselves. And in so doing, we become independent of anything. The system, the jobs that people have left. In many different ways, we have been exposed, shown, graced with the possibility of being free. All the way to liberation. The fireworks are going off right now around me at the perfect time. I have a fireworks show for you. Hello, Robert, my brother. He's back. So now we're going to move into a deeper layer of this presentation from others. Listen, please, with your heart. Hear it, but listen. We all understand what the idea of freedom and liberation is. But it's using certain excuses, if you will, the Declaration of Independence, sitting on your wall that you've mounted in a picture frame, as a reminders. And those reminders can carry us as a friend down the stream. For example, many people I know, and it's okay, I'm just saying, this is an idea. Many people I know don't believe in spiritual gurus. That's beautiful. I'm glad you're so empowered. I see it this way. If I need a ride to the grocery store to get my food, and it's 20 miles away, and someone wants to pick me up and take me there, or at least help me to get what I need, my sustenance, likewise spiritually. When you have a guru, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Swamiji, whoever your guru, or someone you're following because they have your heart. You believe in them and you know that they're stepping for the right reasons. Makes the journey to said grocery store a little easier, doesn't it? Same idea, it's applicable. Swamiji, God on earth today, his 9th incarnation, first God realized being to step foot on Mother Earth, Gaia, thousands upon thousands of years ago, says about liberation, independence. Let me find it. This was the message for today. True independence is when one need not depend on anyone or anything else for his needs. True independence is when one need not depend on anyone else for any of his needs. Pretty simple, pretty powerful. It's not full of fluff. It is right there in front of all of us, and it is what it is. I have been saying this for quite a few years. What's happening in an esoteric sense from our vantage point looking outward is there is a consciousness inflicting lots of, what's the word I'm looking for? Trouble. That's not the word, but it's trouble. Vexation on humanity. And it's thumbing you down. It's pressing you hard. So much so, you stayed in your house for over a year. You see, God is enigmatic. It's ironic. Through what looks like people pressing on us is spirit in another level, deeper dimension saying, here's an opportunity, a trial for you to move through. And when you do, said tyrannical situation as of before is over. There may be a new one afoot, but you move through that and you keep ascending up the rungs of the ladder all the way to your infinite liberation. That's why when you look at this splash screen, you see the liberation, which is Swamiji, but you also see the invasion, but you also see the doctrine, the true thread that lies through all of humanity, or at least the promise, but it's for everyone to liberate themselves. Everyone to liberate themselves. Did you know that humanity had a flag? Everyone wants to wave the red, white, and blue. I get it. Blessings to you. I get it. But there's a larger flag, a larger purpose at foot. At hand, do we dare unfurl it and wave it proudly? Well, I didn't know it exists. Now you do. Now I do. I just found out today. And it's called the Flag of Humanity. Check it out. The Flag of Humanity. This is the actual idea for the Declaration of Independence. Again, just because you live in a freer country than most does not mean you are completely liberated. If you were, you probably would not be embodied in this carnal meat suit on the earth. You might have a little bit bigger things to do. I'm not saying being human is not beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing in the universe, actually. Everyone wants a piece of your action, you rock star. But we're all seeking liberation. Now I'm going to show you the world flag, not the flag of humanity, but the international flag of the world. Check it out.
What could the flag of the planet Earth look like? Would it illustrate the planet itself? Or is it a symbol of the inhabitants of Earth? A reminder that we should all stand united. Celebrate life itself. Remind us that all life is connected, in one way or another. But life wouldn't be possible without the water on Earth. Therefore, it would be relevant for the blue planet's flag to be blue. But what kind of blue? A flag like this would mainly be used while representing Earth in outer space. It should be a clear contrast to the black of outer space, also to the white of the spacesuits and shuttles, which it would be placed upon. Light blue would disappear into the white, and dark blue would disappear into the black. Therefore, a brighter blue would be more fitting. There are a lot of different ratios or proportions for flags. A few of them would be conceptually interesting for a flag like this. For example, the 1-to-1 ratio is a perfect square, fitting a circle or a planet, if you will. 5-to-8 is the golden ratio, a mathematical ratio that occurs in lots of different mystical ways in nature. The most common flag ratio in the world is the 2-to-3 ratio. All of these options were taken into consideration during the design process of the international flag of planet Earth, resulting in a flag that reminds us to take care of each other and the planet we live on.
That's a flag. I think this is what the Declaration of Independence was intending for all of us, at least for the Founding Fathers, bringing forth this new, brilliant, beautiful, divine idea of America. So everyone, basically, in the world wants to become American. And I don't mean in the national sense, but in the sense of following the inalienable rights of truth, pursuit, love, peace, happiness. Notice when you looked at the flag of the world, it was a circle. There were circles, and it's very reminiscent of the flower of life, but also it's very reminiscent of God, Metatron's cube. What does God look like in a geometric pattern? Looks like the flag of Earth. Circles within circles, different worlds, different nations, if you will, all being consumed by larger upon larger circles, all the way down to the nucleic center, the core of being, which is God itself, hence Metatron's cube. So I understand patriotism to a degree. But it should be about worldism, humanity. Humanity owns the earth. No one individually owns anything. It doesn't belong to you. You're here on rent. One day you're going to have to pay the earth back for the body you've borrowed. Cameo appearance. It's about 20 minutes long. Very, very wise man. Very, very wise individual.
July 4th, 1776. July 4th, 1776 was when our founding fathers created the Declaration of Independence. And they wrote this beautiful piece on that day to express their version of what freedom meant. And I don't think many people really read it beyond, third grade class or something. And I kind of want to read it to you because for me, freedom means a lot. It's a lot more than apple pie and hot dogs and some fireworks and wearing a American flag bikini and driving your car fast and getting drunk. Instead, it's about what our founding fathers were really seeking to share. And it's pretty interesting. So anyway, I just want to share, I'm going to read it to you. And I'm going to stop a few times and share some of my own little ideas. So here's what it says. It says the Declaration of Independence for the 13 United States of America. So when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and all right, so that was them leaving Europe and coming to the U.S. So we're leaving Europe, we're leaving that all behind, and we're creating our own country. And it's so from here on out, I won't stop too much. And to assume among the powers of the earth, that's cool, to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitles them. Wow. So they're talking about the powers of the earth, the laws of nature, and nature's God. That's pretty cool. They're not saying, one particular kind of God. They're talking about the universal God within all of us, and within nature itself, and within earth itself. So, to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitles them, a decent respect for the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. Pretty trippy. So it's about connecting with God through nature, is the first paragraph. So the second paragraph is really a huge long paragraph, and that's the one you've heard a million times. And I'm going to do my little alteration on it too. But we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, all people are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. So the people give the leaders their power and can take it away. So, and that's the foundation. So, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, It is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect the city and their happiness. So anyway, it goes on, and I want you to read it if you have a chance, that text. And what it means to me is everyone is equal. And our foundation of our government is that we're all equal, all people. That there shouldn't be separation of class, color, countries, race, religion, preferences. And yet, many people in our country call themselves Christians, and Jesus himself had these same principles. He said, don't judge one another, love one another. He didn't say hate all Muslims or hate all Jews or hate all whatever. He said love one another. And I think it's universal. It's love everyone. And so I'm expecting freedom to mean that to all of us, that we all come together in unity, and we stop the separation, we stop the judgment, and stop the hate. And this recent uprising in odd nationalism that we've had, and has brought about some wild hatred in politics and other things, and separation. And the Roman battle plan was to divide and conquer. We're good and they're bad, and they think they're good and you're bad. And so when we unify and realize that the entire country was founded upon the freedom of religion, freedom of ideas, and the love for one another. In our own, on our money, it says e pluribus unum. What is it? It's basically out of many comes one. The same with in Lakota. In Dakota, they use mataquiasin, which is we are all related. And the Mayans do the same thing. We're all coming together like fingers of the hand. We're all unifying. And so the less you see each other as separate, but instead start to begin to see each other as similar, the less hatred we'll have, the more unity. That's the power of the United States. It's in the diversity. And the reason other countries, which aren't as diverse as the United States, want to emulate us is because we have that power. When you watch the Olympics, you see people representing the United States from all different ideas, all different colors, and all different, and that's what's our strength. It's our brilliance. It's everyone competing on a level playing field. And I would love to see at some point our entire planet to have no borders, no religion, no government, and not one dominate anything. Instead, we're all unifying with the idea that we're all seeking that same thing: life, liberty, in the pursuit of happiness. And we're allowed to do that. So many years ago, this Deepak Chopra had this group called An Alliance for a New Humanity. And they got together all these great minds of the world, and they wrote down all the problems of the world. And within all these problems of the world, they ended up having thousands and thousands of problems. And they put all those problems into categories, and they put the categories into categories. So they came up with 4 problems of the world. So let me tell you what those 4 problems are, according to An Alliance for New Humanity. It's, first of all, and this is no order. So one is ecology. We're just destroying Mother Nature. We're treating this limited Earth as if it's unlimited. We're using up resources at a rate that cannot be sustained for a very long period of time. And so we have to consider not only our generation and maybe our kids or our grandkids, but 7 generations or 12 generations down the road. I mean, what's it going to look like? Our little United States is 241 years old now. And 241 years from now, what's in the States are going to have enough energy? How are we going to run things? How are we going to share? How are we going to work together in harmony with nature? So ecology is one of those 4. Ecology. Another one is economy. And one thing most people don't realize, we use money. The money itself for the entire world was taken off of the gold standard in the 70s, 1972, I believe, with Richard Nixon put the last nail in the coffin on that. And so we don't have a money system in this entire world that is based on anything of value. There's no value to it. So it's just digits on a computer. And so we're all enslaved to this crazy system. And if you start to study the Federal Reserve and the International Monetary Fund and some of these other world banks and things, you start to realize it's a weird little scheme of keeping us enslaved to something with no value. And so I'm seeing these weird things changing things, like Bitcoin, and it's not really working yet, but I'm seeing at some point our value system will change. So ecology and economy. Economy is that our value system is screwed up and skewed in a really weird way. Another one is what you would call war or violence, that we have a tendency of hitting each other or killing each other instead of making cooperation. So we bomb countries because they might have a bomb. And with our own children, we grab their hand and they just hit, their little sister. And so they would grab their hand and we say, don't hit. And we hit them. It's crazy. And we're hitting them and telling them not to hit. Well, we do the same thing with countries. We try to destroy countries because they might destroy somebody else. So it's all insanity. So ecology, economy, war, and the fourth one of those world problems would be what I just call isms, personal preferences, is that my God is better than yours, my skin color is better than yours, my town is better than yours, my country is better than yours, so I should hate you. And that's a really bad way to live. And that ignorance leads to fight of unifying. So we go back to the Declaration of Independence asking for unity and our strength as a country being unifying. I'm expecting all of us to overcome many of those problems: ecology, economy, war, and this personal preferences. So what causes those? Ecology, destruction of the earth; economy, this money, greed, power, and so on. What causes all those are the same things. Basically, ignorance causes all those. Greed causes all of those. Our own personal fears cause all those, or the programming fears that are programmed into us. Ignorance, greed, fears, and then these patterns of old, or these patterns of old, or powers of old, that in the old paradigm, things have always been this way. Well, according to you and your little narrow-minded life, things have been that way. But if you rewind, things have recently changed, and they will continue to change. So evolution always favors those adaptable to change. So things are going to change, and I'm expecting us to overcome ignorance, greed, fears, and these powers of old, or patterns of old, with a few things. And what will lead us to that is love, kindness, unification. And so I'm expecting all of us, the freedom we love and see from America is that unity, is the love for one another. It's not a flag. It's not a government. The government's not your mommy. It's unifying as powers amongst all of us. We, the people, are the power. And so I'm expecting we, the people, to unify, to do what's right for all of us, and to stand up for each other. So if there's a Black Lives Matter protest, I'm going to go to it. If there's an indigenous rights protest, I'm going to go to it. If there's a women's rights, I'm going to go to it. I am going to support all of that, because the rights and freedom that anyone has is only focused on the rights and freedom that all of us have, the least fortunate. So it's really shocking to me that we say, support our troops, and then we pass by homeless veterans. I live 2 blocks away from Venice Boulevard, and it's like an ocean. It's like a sea or river of people going from downtown LA out to the beach and back. And these homeless vets are men. They're people. They're people's sons or fathers or uncles or brothers. They never intended to be homeless. They didn't choose to be homeless. They are needing help. They are addicted to things. They're needing help. They're needing love. They're needing support. And I actually think that all of us as the human race should come together. Instead of creating more bombs and guns, we should be creating food, water, shelter, housing. It's like what we take care of and who's the least fortunate of all. I don't understand how we think it was a good idea. It was like the 80s that Ronald Reagan became president and shut down all of the mental health wards. These people need help. And now here we're trying to get rid of healthcare when all other major countries in the world supply healthcare to their people. Yeah, you taxed on it, but it's a collective. Instead, this system we're in is a buyout for insurance agents to raise their prices. I don't know if you're this way, but for me, my health insurance has doubled in the last 10 years. Insane. And it's insane prices. And it's scary. We stupidly think America's got the best health care, the best doctors, the best everything. Well, look it up. It's sliding off, and the expense of what we have is insane. Look it up. So I don't know what the solutions are except for unifying, loving one another, not judging one another, helping each other out, serving each other, and for those that are disenfranchised. And so I'm going to expect that more of us are waking up to doing just that for each other and with each other. They say if you're depressed or confused or frustrated with your life, serve one another. Find someone less fortunate and take care of them. And so I am expecting the government not to be my mother. I'm expecting for we the people to hold our government accountable to a certain regard, but also for us to help each other out. I mean, if every church that's a non-profit church not paying any taxes would just help out some homeless people, I think there's something like 300,000 churches on this planet, and I think there's like 600 in our United States, and there's like 600,000 homeless people. Take care of a couple people each. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I know that as I speak to more and communicate better. So I usually end all these things with laugh more, worry less, love all, and do it with gratitude. But I've been hanging out with these cool kids lately that are 19 and 20 years old, and I'm adding 2 things to that list, and it's really question everything and fear nothing. Then laugh more, worry less, love all, and have gratitude for everything. And so question the way we've been doing things. Question our leaders and hold them accountable as we the people. What can we do to serve each other? Our founding fathers said, we hold these truths self-evident that all men and women are created equal, and they're endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight is Center of Light Declaration. Stand up and declare your independence. You can do what you want, with who with, for however long, and you have to answer to no one. Abigail said something very powerfully. Many people are terrified of true unity. That's exactly right. They're scared for a united world. Why? Many people feel that they're going to give up what they think belongs to them to share it with other people. They're scared to death of that. They have an insecurity about such things. That will they get enough by distributing the wealth, if you will? That's not what unity is. Unity is, it's for everyone. What if the streets were paved in gold and our traffic lights were a ruby, a sapphire, and an emerald? And it's for everyone, not for the rich elite who can afford such things. This is what sharing really is about. I've been saying this for years. It doesn't make me right. It makes me someone who understands the language of patterns, energy, how it moves. I understand many people are upset about the open border policy. You can be upset and dump all your energy into being upset about an open border policy, but you're not liberating yourself through such choice. You're not. You're using your voice for something of more that you don't want. You see, it's not about the politicians in the office. Whether someone is in the office, the lights are not on, or not. It's irrelevant. God's will wins its way through every experience. It's for us to find it and liberate ourselves with the key that has been given through such problematic situations. I've been saying the borders will be open. They will be open. Doesn't make me right. What I'm saying is the borders being open is a sign of the times that everyone will share the world. There's nothing you can do about it. You can tell your mom, your dad, your best friend. There's nothing anyone can do about it either. There's nothing you can do about it. The borders are going to be open. And whether they're open or not, they are open. People cross through it anyway. Why? Because they're inventive, their intelligence, their imagination of not being confined, because they want liberation like all of us, will prevail. Remember, your good karma will find you regardless. Remember, regardless, your bad karma will find you. Open border or not is irrelevant. That's the elephant in the room that no one wants to look at. The liberation and unity of all people. Like Abigail said, most people are scared of true unity. It's because of ignorance. They don't understand the truth or how it works to greater degrees within themselves, so they can feel buoyant, solid, powerful, and planted, and find their own spiritual liberation simply by being themselves. If you truly love something, you leave it alone. You want a formula for peace? Leave everyone alone. Calling people names, libtards, Democrats, Republicans, whatever stupid word you choose, you're not helping liberate your brother or your sister or the humanity. In fact, you're binding yourself and the person you're slinging such a shit pile at anyway. Because until all of us are free, none of us are free. Because everyone is a reflection of your own self. Some part of you will be quagged in mire. You're hurting yourself. And it's mean. Stop it. Or don't. Brian did mention as he was going through the declaration, I'm a paraphrase, that when such governments impose their will upon the people have the right to install a new government. Firework. Validation. Bang. Here's a bang. From my bestseller, Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. The link is in the forum at the top, as well on YouTube and Facebook. You can use the same link to give me a review. And there's another link in here. If you want to donate $30 to Center of Light, I'm going to send you a pendant, a Mayan calendar pendant that Robert donated. So thank you. Let me know if you're interested. They're really cool. Melanie bought one. I think Tammy bought one. Excuse me. I received them tomorrow by mail, and I will be sending them out to you both and whoever chooses to want to support Center of Light. Brian mentioned how whenever such governments impose their will to negate love, peace, truth, pursuit of happiness, so forth, we have the right. It's in the Constitution. It's in the Declaration. It is our God-given divine birthright to install a new government. Coincidentally, written in 1996, Spirit says the true agenda, this is happening now. 1996, we didn't know any such things. The true agenda of many governments and governmental figures worldwide will be brought to light. The United States, the greatest country of all with the greatest form of government, will suffer a major breakdown. Its present legislative branch will collapse, and it will take years to rebuild it. Because of this restoration process, many old guard politicians will be forced out. Your new lawmakers will not make law per se, but rather will introduce you all to divine law and teach you how to fall into flow with it. The establishment of divine order is commencing as I speak. This is what Spirit told me in meditation in 1996. This is happening right now. I am not one of those people who will stand up for the national anthem. I am free of any imposing wills that I should do so. One, I will do it because rebel. But when you mature and graduate, you lose that, and it becomes simply, I don't stand for it. Let me explain myself for those who tend to get patriot but tender. This is not my intention. First of all, I don't stand under a flag of nationalism. I stand under a greater flag than that, the one for humanity and one for the world, which includes the United States, Britain, Canada, Mexico, and all that. I stand under a greater flag. I hope that you do as well. Many people who got very, very salty about Colin Kaepernick, they didn't read the full story. They didn't understand. They were taught, they bought into the system that wants to keep them and everyone in slavery. Colin Kaepernick dropped to his knee during the national anthem as a form of prayer for a said cause. I can sit here and tell you what that cause is. Do the research yourself if you care enough about it. Another reason I don't stand up for the national anthem doesn't mean I don't have respect for people who have lost their lives for the salvation of the world. Veterans, if you will. There are many other veterans, police officers, firemen. Anyone of said service that puts their life on their line is a veteran in such a way. Are they not? But when I found out, I never really did anyway, stand up for unless to be a part of it, but I never felt let the pressure of everyone's opinion of what they thought I should or should not do help me to choose my decision. And did you know that the third verse of the Star-Spangled Banner, the national anthem, is not very nice at all? It's in support of slavery. Let me read you something. It is important to know these things because the Star-Spangled Banner, originally called the Defense of Fort McHenry, has more than one verse. The second half of the third verse ends like this: No refuge could save the hurling. No refuge could save the hurling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the star-spangled banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. These lyrics are clearly reference to the colonial Marines, according to Jefferson Morley, author of Snowstorm in August, Washington City, Francis Scott Key, and the Forgotten Race Riot of 1835. They are clearly meant to scorn and threaten the African Americans who took the British up on their offer, who wrote in recent essay for the Washington Post. Francis Scott Key surely knew about the colonial Marines, and it's even possible he saw them among the contingent of British ships that sailed into Baltimore Harbor. And even if these lyrics are meant to be explicitly racist, Key clearly was. He descended from a wealthy plantation family and enslaved people. He spoke of black people as a distinct and inferior race and supported emancipation of the enslaved only if they were immediately shipped to Africa, according to Morley. During the Andrew Jackson administration, Francis Scott Key served as the district attorney for Washington, D.C., where he spent much of his time shoring up enslavers' power. He strictly enforced slave laws and persecuted abolitionists who passed out pamphlets mocking his jurisdiction as the land of the free, home of the oppressed. If you're standing up to be a part of something great and you're not worried about the lyrics, then stand on the chair as well. Declare your declaration. This is your independence. Every being in the universe is seeking liberation. Not putting a thumb on anybody else. In so doing, you become a loving one. And you will see the turmoil and the hate and the judgment leave your life, and the unity beautifully find its place. There's your support.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare above thirsty air gave proof through the night that our flag was still.
The world flag is what you just saw. It's the flag of the world. I didn't know it's created till today. Its implications are massive. That the mass collective power of each and every person that is alive on this planet. Granted, they are your brother and or sister. Mrs. or Mr., whether you like it or not, should get off the pot, because it's about to get real. The real deal. The reason you came, whether you know it or not, in celebratory or shame, it's coming down. Things are quiet right now. I strongly suggest you live your life of service as much as you can. If you want to be in vibrational sync to the divine plan, understand you have a choice. And the choice is not only your own sovereignty, the liberation of the world, the solar system, the galaxy, and the universe will elevate, and we become the living light, the prophecy talked about by your best friend and others 2,000 plus years ago. You are walking into the garden, or are you? Stop calling people names. If you have to do it and start by just keeping your mouth shut and calling them that in your mind, it's a start. Catch yourself. Because who you call libtards looks just like you, if you're such a one, when you look in the mirror. Because if you truly knew the word of being a liberal, you wouldn't call people that. Because you will see yourself in the mirror. Because it's what you are. You are a liberal. Whatever party you choose, go look up liberalism or go look up liberal. What is a liberal? And all of its attributes looks like you already. And you can't deny it. The betterment for all people. This, that, and the other. Center of Light declaration. Stand up and declare that you are sovereign. You are free. But we will all collectively do that when we bind in unity. Your love beyond measure. See you soon. Happy 4th of July. So you see, it doesn't mean what we think it means. Barbecue, a good movie, some race car driving. That's not that's surviving. That's not thriving. It's deep. And you can take it as deep as you want it. Question is, do you want it? I love you.